There was a lot of room for improvement, and I kind of had to pick a direction. I can either become a little bit more scalpy. The other option would be to take a step back and reduce the speed of my trading. Hey traders, welcome back. It's good to be here again with you. Don't worry, I haven't been slacking. I've actually been doubling down on my trading and studying more than ever. In a second, you'll see why, but basically I started overtrading and getting really distracted in 2021, and we'll explore the reasons why, which include splitting my core strategy of front side scalping into another strategy, which is a little bit more focused on trend following. And man, trading two strategies at once, I started tripping over myself like crazy, and I reduced my size. So last year wasn't the biggest profits for me. You'll see that when we go to the charts in a second. But second of all, I started allocating my capital that was just sitting around in 2021 into some investments. And let's just say those turned south really quickly. So I started managing these investments, which took a lot of my focus from day trading. In the end, I think it saved me a lot of money, but it definitely was distracting. So we'll review the reasons for overtrading, and then we'll also be reviewing the solutions for overtrading. The three I've been doing to get myself out of this overtrading hole is, first of all, doubling down on my trading. I typically study 1 to 2 hours a day. I'm going to make that a hard 4 hours per day. 2 in the morning and then 2 in the afternoon. I'll share with you in this video exactly what I'm studying, which has tremendously helped me so far. Number 2, stopping all the random strategies. No more random swing trading, no more investing, no more half scalping, half trend following day trading. It's very messy. So getting really clear on that one strategy, which leads me to point number 3, create principles around this new one strategy that I want to go all in on. So I have tons of notes already. I think I have like 90 pages of notes in my general strategy Google Doc, and then tons of more notes for about 2 months of documentation on this new trend following trading strategy. And I'm gonna combine all that together. I'm gonna share that in this video as well, how I plan to do that and what I plan to do with it. And to cement this new direction, I thought, why not shave everything? Exciting time. So let's head over to the trading screens and get right into it. So here you have it. This is when I switched to the day trading Momo portfolio, and we went from our small count challenge to the day trading Momo portfolio. And that's when I had unlimited margin, right? So an account over $25,000, and I just kept on increasing size and size and size. And that's why this rally here looks really so good and exponential. And then in the beginning of 2021, we hit a little bit of a market lull. It just wasn't as easy to nail some of the moves anymore. And we had a lot of periods where not a lot was going on. And now the market's actually starting to heat up. There's a lot of good opportunity, but you'll see that I actually kind of started to plateau here in the last few months. And there's a good reason for that. I was taking a lot of days off, but I was also doing a little bit of a pivot because something happened in 2021 that drove me a little bit insane, and that's really overtrading, but not necessarily overtrading my specific strategy. I was trying to do a few additional things. I was mixing some swing trading with the day trading, and then things got really messy. So this is going to be a breakdown for anyone that is curious on why they are overtrading, and if they are overtrading, how to fix it. So last month of 2022, December, I only made $1,000, a very, very small profit month, but you'll see this risk reward here almost doubled of what it usually is, like 1% and 1%. Now it's 2%, 2%. So it's still kind of a 1-to-1, but it's gotten much bigger. So I'm taking bigger winners, but I'm also taking bigger losers. You'll see here my overall annual stats is 1.3 to 1.3 risk reward. So also very 1-to-1, but I'm much quicker to take profits. Last year also wasn't really the best. I only had a 63% win ratio. For this whole portfolio, it's about a 66, 67%. So it wasn't really the best for me. I made a total of $30,000 for my day trading portfolio. So again, very slow. I didn't feel like there was a lot of opportunities. I took many days off, and I felt like that was kind of fine. It wasn't really the year for me to gun it. But there's something else I wanted to review, and that's my swing trading 2022. And this is basically everything. I included my investments and all sorts of stuff like that. And in the end, it came out to a loss of $19,000. And the problem here was I was doing everything. I was doing options. I was doing the SPY. I was doing options on the SPY. I was swing trading. The big problem was I was also, quote unquote, investing, where my account was getting to the point where it had a lot of capital on the side that I wasn't using because I don't need that much capital for day trading. So I was like, let me start investing in companies that I like. And this was like all throughout 2021, which is probably the worst time to start investing. So I started losing pretty big on some of these positions, like Coin, for example, where I was buying at like 160. And then at one point, I basically was like, okay, well, this is where the trader came out and not so much the investor. And I was like, okay, well, I could easily be managing these positions. So I started managing these positions, and I brought down my losses from like 40, 50 plus $1,000 to just about only $20,000. But still, I was now over-managing my swing trades, basically taking profits when there was a big rally and then rebuying again when there was a big sell-off, which worked really, really well. You guys saw some of the profits. I think I had a $16,000 day even, but my investments were all down so much, so it was so hard to climb out of that hole. And that swept over to my day trading, where I would get really, really distracted because I was so busy managing all my other portfolios. And if you guys want to read this post in more detail, I would leave the link in the video description below. I mean, just looking at these stats, it's pretty disappointing because I know as a trader, I'm much, much better than this. I know I could have made a lot more money last year. I mean, it wasn't the best year, but I know I still could have done much better. There were so many days where I was distracted. I missed moves because I was looking at my investments. I feel really bad for saying investment because an investment is something you put in an account for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, and then you kind of come back to that. That's what's in my mind investing. And I was basically having my investments in my day trading portfolio, and I started managing those. So it was just really, really sloppy place for me to be. So that's the first reason I was over trading. I was constantly distracted by my investments and not focused enough on my core day trading strategy. And the second reason for over trading is a little bit unusual. And it became really apparent in December last year when we started having some really big runners, 700% runners, multi-1,000% winners. And I was scratching, I was, red. Sometimes I would be very green, but I was a little bit all over the place and I was missing a lot of the moves. There was a lot of room for improvement, and I kind of had to pick a direction. I can either become a little bit more scalpy, become a little bit more quick as a trader, which means I would maybe have to switch to a different broker because TD Ameritrade is just too slow for really, really quick scalp trading. Or I would have to use something like DOS Trader on top. So I use the API plugin for TD Ameritrade and just use DOS because it's a little bit quicker on execution. So some sort of combination of that to become a better scalper, to become a better front side momentum trader, to not get worried about trading at the open because TOS will freeze at the market open. So all these considerations that were kind of keeping me from reaching the next level of my scalp trading career. Now, the other option would be to take a step back and reduce the speed of my trading and look to hold longer moves. So instead of basically right now where I make most of my profit from trades I hold less than a minute, you see here for everything less than 60 seconds, I've made $152,000. And then pretty much anything I hold longer is a total loss, which is just crazy to think about sometimes. And this is the hard part about option B, holding longer, because historically holding longer is really bad for me. So I'd be going against my statistics. So in December, lo and behold, I actually chose option B because I felt like it played to my strengths much better. I actually like to be a little bit more reserved, calm and collected during my trading, and sometimes the scalp trading, I could feel myself getting more and more agitated, reactive, and all these things about trading that I don't like when I fall into those traps. So I've taken a step back and tried to increase my time frame, start focusing more on the 5-minute, accumulate a position, maybe add into the position, let it run a little bit, and give it time to breathe, which I've always wanted to do because a lot of times I'll always miss those, 10, 20% moves. And actually, for the first time ever, I finally got a 28% move in January. I didn't take my profits quick enough and it ended up coming down a bit, but I still closed for over a 10% profit, something that's never happened in the past with my scalping, because that is just way too dangerous holding that long as a scalp trader. And that is why in December, my results on average were very different than my typical statistics of the overall year and even further. And January has been even crazier because I've been really trying to find the boundaries of this strategy. How long can I hold, either to the upside or the downside? Where do I need to start cutting my losses? So it's been a little bit of an experimental last 2 months for me. And that obviously not just made me leave a lot of profits on the table, but also made me give back a lot of profits, just because I need to really figure this strategy out a little bit more first before I bring in the rules that might be too restricting if I bring in the rules too quick, essentially not letting me experiment enough. Let me quickly show you guys the charts. Now, not all of them I will be doing my new strategy, but this will give you guys a good little overview of what I'm looking for. So here we have PALI, a ticker that is always a former gapper. We always see it at some point. And here on the daily, we have a big green day with nice volume coming in. On the 5-minute, we have a bit of a stair forming here. Now we're breaking out. And here's, I'm doing kind of my classic scalp trading. We have nice 5-minute continuation. I'm buying, it pops up, I take profits, I buy, it pops up, take profits. Technically, this is pretty good, but this is too far into my old habits. What I should be doing is looking for these big support zones coming up, identifying that this is a bit of a flat top right here. Here we have an ascending triangle because we have higher lows coming in, and start sizing in early, and then around the 9 EMA having my stop and constantly moving up my stop. So that's a little bit of a different philosophy, a very bird's eye view philosophy of how I want to go about my trading. Now the reason for my overtrading probably becomes a lot more obvious because you see how sometimes I flip back into my old way of thinking, where as opposed of trend following, I start scalping. In a little bit, I'll tell you guys exactly what I'm going to be doing to reduce that even more and rewire my brain fully. So here's another example, HTGM. Not, again, the biggest profits. I'm also not using that big size. I should be doing about $20,000 sizes. I size down is because I'm in this pivot zone trying to figure out perfect blend between trend following, letting my winners run longer, and scalp trading. And I haven't figured out that perfect blend yet. So what do? I reduce my risk by sizing down. It's really that simple. I'd rather miss out on those couple $1,000s now to be able to make much, much more in the future. So HTGM is another setup where, it's a second green day here. And on the 5-minute, you can see this perfect rally to the front side. And I'm just barely trading this one, which is a little bit disappointing. Mind you, 7 a.m. opens right around here, so I wouldn't be able to trade this on TD Ameritrade. But this is one of those classic setups where, I'm not focused enough on the 5-minute, and I should be accumulating here as long as the 5-minute is bullish and over the 9 EMA trend, and really working on letting my winners run. And this is when I'm still way too scalpy. You see it works, but you could see how I'm leaving a lot of profits on the table, and I would like to slow down a little bit more. What I am doing to make myself improve as a trader is I've doubled my study time. I was usually studying about 1 to 2 hours a day, but I'm taking that to clean 4 hours. I'll do 2 hours before trading and 2 hours after my trading. So the 2 hours before, I'll review my documented trades and I make a watch list, and I dive into the tickers already on the charts, thinking about what I would like to see for an entry, either support coming in, high or low, so on and so forth. And then during my trading, I will have OBS open, and every time I'm either in a trade or thinking about getting in a trade, I record myself and talk through the beginning, middle, and end of every single trade. You'll actually see all those recordings on this YouTube channel. You just have to be a community member to check those out. They're usually about 30 minutes to 90 minutes long. 90 minutes is definitely on the longer phase. I don't like them getting over 60 minutes. It usually means I'm over trading a little bit. After my trading day, I'll go ahead and rewatch those and take a ton of notes rewatching those videos, which takes about 2 hours every time, because it's a lot of stopping, thinking, revising, rinse and repeat. Let's see if we can see it. And then third thing that I am doing right now is revising my whole entire strategy, which I have a Google Doc that's about 90 pages long, and I want to boil it down to a few principles that make all my entries and exits very, very clear, because right now I have two strategies in my head and they're fighting for attention. One strategy says buy, the other one says sell, and it's very, very messy. I've already removed the third strategy of, swing trading or investing or whatever you want to call what I was doing in 2021, and now I want to boil it down even further to really get to the essence of my trading strategy. And once I get those core principles created, I'm going to print them out and I'm just going to have them on the couch, in the living room, or wherever, and I'm just constantly going to be reviewing them and taking notes and adjusting it and then reprinting it out, and basically make my Bible that I'm just going to learn inside and out and be very, very specific on all of my trading. If you're excited to keep learning together, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon too. We got a lot more videos coming about my new next generation day trading strategy. I can't wait to keep sharing and learning with you guys.